With measures being taken to restructure government-owned enterprises and propel them towards profitability, other reforms related to trade must take place simultaneously. These were thoughts echoed by member of the State-Owned Enterprises Restructuring Unit, Mangala Yapa, on what the country needs to attract more investors. Meanwhile, former CEO of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, Manjula De Silva, said that with a holding company being decided to govern state-owned enterprises, expectations are that more transparency and unbiased supervisions of firms with minimum political interference will be the status quo going forward. Speaking to Indivari Amawatha during our current affairs program at Hyde Park on Derana 24, officials on the forefront of the restructuring process discussed the way forward for Sri Lanka through the divestment of state-owned enterprises.
So going forward, looking at how this effort can be brought together, what other rules or policies and regulations are you looking at from an investment environment point of view that you're pushing the government towards?
It's a question of addressing all the issues simultaneously, how much capacity they have, what is the political environment to do all the transformation that is necessary, etc. Because we are all time pressed, because so many things have to be done simultaneously. So I think a lot of steps have been taken and that has to move forward. As you correctly know, FTA with Thailand is now almost being finalized, hopefully by within couple more rounds that will be concluded. I heard President talking about the comprehensive economic and technical partnership agreement with India, which was stagnated, which will move. And then we have made a request trying to join RCEP. So these are on the trade side very proactive, positive movements. But of course, one thing is saying that, the second thing is getting that done. So that means a lot of tariff liberalization and other reforms will have to happen. Customs procedures, trade liberalization will have to take place. Once that area, particularly because trade and investment are interlinked, if the trade side gets more liberalized and more reformed, naturally that will also create a larger market, because as you know, India and the subcontinent is growing at a massive pace. So with that, Sri Lanka becomes a very attractive place for investment.
Basically, the corporate governance has to improve tremendously. I mean, if you really want to even market some of these SOEs to the foreign investors, I mean, that is one thing we need to focus on. So that is where actually getting them listed on the stock exchange, I mean, that's something, which will expose them to some sort of discipline. Another important aspect, I think, which we could not talk about is that the government has a plan to set up a holding company, which will, act as a kind of a mother organization. For the SOEs, because whatever that we may divest, it will take some time to get through the divestiture program, and there will be also some entities that are strategically important to the government that they will want to retain a majority ownership. But these also, I think we need to reorganize them in a better way. And one of the ways in which it has been done successfully in many other markets is to bring them under one single entity, which is professionally managed and which kind of acts as a buffer between the SOEs and the government. In most of the countries, they have adopted this kind of a model. And one of the things they do is actually they ensure that the SOEs are properly governed.
Professionally.
And they follow a code of conduct, and the boards are appointed typically by this entity, and where they ensure that there is no political interference in the appointment of boards. So this is something again which we are looking forward to, because we understand that the cabinet has already approved the concept of a holding company. So when that is set up and once the SOEs are brought under that entity, I think we could see, apart from the divestment program, we should be able to see these entities being governed in a much more professional manner.
So I think, necessity is the mother of invention. And I think we are at a point that we don't have a choice in the very. I don't think there is any other path than this reform path that includes SOE restructuring and eventual privatization or listing. And there is no option. So I think all citizens will benefit by having the SOEs being turned into more efficient privately run organizations contributing to the national economy.